What's up? What's happening? What's going on? I'm DeQuan Young, and today we present 10 great NFL games that could have ended differently with better overtime rules. Don't forget to subscribe to TPS and make sure you hit the bell and turn on our notifications and join the notification squad. And a big shout out to Natty Bo for suggesting this video. Now, the NFL changed this overtime rule some years ago. Kinda, sorta. It used to be sudden death, but now if the team who possesses first doesn't score a touchdown, the other team gets at least one possession. But that doesn't mean the current overtime system isn't flawed. It's long overdue for the NFL to adopt the college, the AAF, or the CFL rules, where all teams are guaranteed at least one possession, even if the team who gets the ball first scores a touchdown. Had the NFL changed these OT rules years ago, some of the greatest games in history could have been different. But unfortunately, these classics ended because the team who got the ball first simply took advantage of the silly OT rules. Number 10, the 2008 AFC wildcard round, the San Diego Chargers versus the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning won the 2008 MVP award after leading the Colts to a 12-4 record. Their reward? A road playoff game against the 8-8 San Diego Chargers. Dumb playoff format. The AFC South rival Tennessee Titans went 13-3 and captured the first round bye. So Manning's Colts were forced to play on the road against the team that got into the playoffs on the final day of the regular season. And it was quite the defensive affair, with the Colts leading 17-14 in the late stages. Phillip Rivers pieced together a solid drive that culminated in a Nate Caden field goal with a half a minute to go. Overtime was required, and it would have been epic to see both Manning and Rivers get a chance with the football. But no, the Chargers won the coin toss, and this worn-out Colts defense just couldn't do much. Clint Session took a face mask penalty, which cost the Colts 15 yards, and the game ended when Darren Sproles reached the end zone on a 22-yard touchdown run. Congrats, Peyton, on another MVP season, but we're sorry it all came down to a coin toss, and the 8-8 Chargers advanced. Number 9, the 2011 AFC wildcard round, the Denver Broncos versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks to the emergence of quarterback Tim Tebow, the Denver Broncos went on a second-half surge to make the playoffs. Their 8-8 record was barely enough to earn a tiebreaker over the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders for the AFC West Division title. Tebow and the Broncos hosted the 12-win Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC wildcard round. And Pittsburgh happened to be the defending AFC champions, and they were led by the best defense in the NFL. Indeed, this looked like a cakewalk for the Steelers. But Tebow had a field day against the Steelers, throwing for 316 yards and 2 touchdowns. The game required OT, and the Broncos won the coin toss. Needless to say, Tebow needed little time to dethrone the reigning AFC champions. And it kind of sucks that the Steelers didn't get their chance to score. Actually, it doesn't for me because I hate the Steelers. The Broncos wound up getting throttled by the New England Patriots in the divisional round. Just a hunch, but Steelers-Pats probably would have been a little bit better. Number 8, the 2001 AFC divisional round, the New England Patriots versus the Oakland Raiders. Tom Brady's first career NFL playoff game will never be forgotten, especially if you're on this channel. We'll never let you forget. It was a blizzard at Foxborough Stadium where Brady and the Patriots played host to John Gruden and the Rich Gannon-led Oakland Raiders. The Raiders were leading a sloppy affair 13-10 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Of course, everybody remembers Charles Woodson strip sacking Tom Brady, who fumbled the football. Game over, Raiders win, right? Nope. Everybody remembers the tuck rule coming into play on that one. Adam Vinatieri booted a game-tying field goal in the blizzard to force overtime. And yes, the Patriots would win the coin toss. Through horrible conditions, Brady was able to drive the Patriots into field goal range, and it was highlighted by a clutch catch from David Patton on a 4th and 4. Vinatieri was then called upon to play hero in overtime. I mean, who knows what would have happened if Rich Gannon got the ball one more time? Maybe the Raiders go downfield to win, and maybe the Patriots dynasty never happens. Complain about the tuck rule controversy all you want, but different OT rules would have been awesome as well. Number 7, the 2002 AFC divisional round, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Tennessee Titans. Often forgotten about when it comes to discussing the best playoff games of all time, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tennessee Titans in the 2002 AFC divisional round was one for the ages. The Steelers were led by quarterback Tommy Maddox, while the Titans were led by future MVP and dual threat quarterback Steve McNair. The Steelers trailed 28-20 after 3 quarters, but they scored 11 points in the final frame. With the game tied 31 apiece after 60 minutes, overtime was required. In an offensive onslaught like this, it would have been awesome to see both teams get the ball at least once. Unfortunately for the Steelers, the Titans won the coin toss. McNair pieced together a surgical drive, and kicker Joe Nedney came out for the chance to play hero. His first kick attempt was good, but the Steelers called timeout, and Nedney's second attempt missed, but the Steelers were penalized for running into him. Finally, Nedney put it away with his third attempt. The Titans would go on to get blown out by the Oakland Raiders in the AFC Championship game. So, sweet victory, I guess. Number 6, the 1989 NFC Divisional Round, the Los Angeles Rams versus the New York Giants. Jim Everett's Los Angeles Rams traveled to the East Coast to visit the New York Giants in the divisional round. The G-Men's identity was entirely defense, led by the great Lawrence Taylor. This, predictably, was quite a low-scoring affair between the Rams and the Giants. New York led 13-7 after 3 quarters, but the Rams kicked a pair of field goals to force overtime. The Rams got the ball first, and they didn't need long to put this game away. Flipper Anderson silenced the Big Apple with his game-winning touchdown. But you kind of wonder, once again, what could have happened if the Giants got the ball. The Rams were pummeled by the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game, so this OT win turned out to be all for nothing. Number 5, the 2015 NFC Divisional Round, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers visited the Arizona Cardinals in the 2015 NFC Divisional Round. To put it mildly, this will go down as one of the greatest divisional playoff matchups in history. And it was a duel between Aaron Rodgers and Carson Palmer, like straight out gunslinging out the Wild Wild West. I used to live downtown. The Cardinals led by a touchdown with less than a minute left, and Green Bay somehow converted a 4th and 20 from their own goal line, setting up a Hail Mary to Jeff Janis. But this insane game, unfortunately, had to come down to nothing more than a coin flip. With 2 juggernaut offenses going head-to-head, the team that got the ball first was obviously going to win. And on the first play from scrimmage, Carson Palmer hit Larry Fitzgerald, who almost took the ball to the house. 2 plays later, Palmer hit Fitzgerald on a shovel pass for the game-winning touchdown. I mean, it would have been pretty awesome if Aaron Rodgers got the ball once in overtime, like just once. But Arizona played by the rules and scored on their opening possession, which officially ended the game. And it's too bad the rules weren't different then. Number 4, the 2009 NFC Championship game, the New Orleans Saints versus the Minnesota Vikings. Drew Brees versus Brett Favre in the NFC Championship game, it did not disappoint one bit, besides the stupid overtime. These 2 NFL greats went back and forth, trading blow for blow in the Superdome. The game stood tied at 28 apiece late in the 4th quarter, with the Vikings trying to get in the field goal range in the waning seconds. Brett Favre threw an ill-advised interception to cornerback Tracy Porter, which prevented a game-winning field goal attempt. And unfortunately for Favre and the Vikings, he wouldn't touch the ball again. Actually, I think that was a good thing. The Saints won the coin toss, and all Brees had to do was drive his team to field goal range in order to punch a ticket to the Super Bowl. Another failed opportunity in Minnesota to win a championship. Number 3, the 2018 AFC Championship game, the New England Patriots versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes in the 2018 AFC Championship game sure didn't disappoint, except for the officiating and the fact that the contest came down to overtime. You guys got it. In the second half, there was no stopping either offense. The Pats led 14-0 at halftime, but the Chiefs responded with 31 points in the final 2 quarters. The back-and-forth game was tied 31 apiece after regulation, and surely everybody knew that whoever got the ball first was going to win. And it was the Patriots who won the coin toss, and the unstoppable Tom Brady-Julian Edelman connection took over in overtime. The Chiefs defense just had no answer for this offensive machine, and the game ended when Rex Burkhead ran it in from 2 yards out. And it's kind of disappointing how the league MVP versus the GOAT had to come down to a coin flip. Patrick Mahomes deserved a better fate, and why should a guy with a historic 50-touchdown season lose? Because his team did win the coin toss, and his defense couldn't make a stop. Please change this, NFL. Number 2, the 2014 NFC Championship game, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers were on the verge of reaching their 2nd Super Bowl in the Aaron Rodgers era. They led the Seattle Seahawks 19-7 with just under 4 minutes left, but were still unable to put the game away after Russell Wilson was picked off by Morgan Burnett. Wilson then scored a touchdown to cut the lead to 5. The Seahawks infamously recovered the onside kick and went down to score via Marshawn Lynch's 24-yard touchdown, followed by a 2-point conversion. Aaron Rodgers got the ball back and led his team downfield for the tying score, with Mason Crosby drilling a late field goal that sent the game into overtime. Rodgers was the MVP, Wilson stormed a furious comeback. Both quarterbacks deserved to touch the ball at least once. But the Seahawks won the coin toss, and the Packers weren't going to stop Wilson here. Must we say it again? A trip to the Super Bowl came down to a coin toss. And Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady Super Bowl would have been incredible, but it wasn't meant to be thanks to the NFL's overtime rules. Number 1, Super Bowl 51, the Atlanta Falcons versus the New England Patriots. This was the very first Super Bowl game that required overtime, and because the Super Bowl is the most important game of the season, we had no choice but to put this at number 1. Now, big games like this should never come down to a coin flip, but here we are. The Patriots trailed by 25 points midway through the fourth quarter, and absolutely nobody could have expected that this game would require extra time. But Tom Brady rallied the Patriots from down 25, forcing overtime after a late touchdown and 2-point conversion. The Falcons weren't able to get in the field goal range on their final drive, so overtime was required. Matt Ryan versus Tom Brady, and whoever got the ball first was probably gonna win. Now, everybody knew this, and as luck would have it, it was the Patriots. That exhausted Atlanta defense had little to no chance. Brady orchestrated another excellent drive, completing pass after pass after pass, and nobody on Atlanta could make a tackle or get a stop. And the game ended when James White scored on a 2-yard rush. Now, good for the Patriots and all, but don't you think this game would have been a little bit better if Matty Ice got one chance to match Brady? Now, with his legacy on the line, seeing the league MVP have to go down and score again would have been incredible. But nope, the Falcons didn't win the coin toss. And it's really shameful that the MVP didn't get the ball once in overtime. It's also really shameful that he sucked in the fourth quarter. But a side note, 3 of the Patriots Super Bowls came down to big coin flips at some point during those postseason runs. Now, what other great NFL games could have ended differently with new overtime rules? Join us in the comment section below. If you guys like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. We truly appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.